As of the last few weeks, I've gotten a lot of comments and requests to take a look at a construction company, a certain Sodor construction company, and the models and characters that work on it in the Thomas & Friends show. And honestly, I think that's an awesome idea. I would love to talk about Jack in the Pack. But to start this new mini-series, we're gonna have to do it right. So first things first, and to start this new possible video collection, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the history of Jack. However, not just Jack, the models we saw of him on the TV screen, and grew up watching in one of our favorite shows. So let's go ahead and get into it. Jack is a fictional front-loader created by Phil Ferrell, and was created to be the lead character in the spin-off series Jack and the Sodor Construction Company. In 2002, Jack made his debut in Season 6 of Thomas & Friends, that being in the episode Jack Jumps In, before appearing in the Jack and the Construction Company episodes. He would also later appear in the 12th series special, The Great Discovery. When the show transitioned into full CGI in 2009, Jack was absent for a total of 4 years. He later returned in 2013, that being in the special King of the Railway, and since his return in 2013 would have on and off appearances in the CGI series. But before we talk about that, let's talk about his live-action model. Jack's model was custom built by model maker David Poole. The model's chassis was built out of brass, while the top of it was built out of plastic to keep the weight down. A small flat fan was built underneath of his chassis to cause the dirt to be kicked up, and the model itself was painted in a matte finish, with the numbers being custom vinyl stickers. Or at least custom stickers, I'm not sure if they were vinyl. Jack was controlled with 3 different remotes. One was used for his movement, one was used to operate his bucket, and one was used to operate his eyes. The eye mechanism he had was the same as the locomotives, being that it ran on 2 servos, one for up and down movement and one for left and right movement, with the faceplate locking the eyeballs themselves in place. And speaking of faces, Jack would have a total of 15 sculpted for him, although only 10 were ever used on screen, and 5 of which his confused, drowsy, intrigued, anxious, and yawning faces were all left unused. Just like the others, the faces were first sculpted in clay, and from that resin casts were made using a silicone mold. One of Jack's semi-complete face masks is now preserved by the Top Props Preservation Group, and Jack's angry face is now owned by Twitter user Tom's Props. Jack was a little different in his concept art, as in this it's shown that Jack was originally going to have a backhoe arm and bucket. However, this was later removed. Model maker Chris Lloyd claimed that the backhoe was removed because it was problematic, and unfortunately wouldn't move since there wasn't a lot of room to store the radio gear and batteries. However, Phil Ferrell claimed the backhoe was removed because using it could cause Jack to be facing away from the action, and for story purposes it was important to feature his face as much as possible, so honestly it would be a kind of pointless feature. It was added to the chassis for a short bit, but it was something we never actually saw in the episodes. From here we move on to Jack's CGI model, as in 2009 CGI was used as a replacement for the long-standing live-action models. Jack was recreated from scratch in CGI by ARC Productions in 2012, and his model itself was made in Maya, the same 3D animation and modeling software the others were made in. When Jack was redone for CGI, his face changed shape. Apparently this was actually an error by Nitrogen Studios. However, those weren't the only modifications Jack would receive. In King of the Railway alone, he would gain hydraulics, his exhaust pipe became taller and gained holes in the sides, he decreased in size, his rear wheel wells were moved back, the tread patterns on his tires changed, the colors of his alloys were also changed, his roof became completely orange, his number increased in size, his bucket increased in size, and the color of his cab changed from cream to white. As of now, Jack has not appeared in All Engines Go, and I honestly hope he doesn't, so the CGI model was the last we ever saw of Jack, and very possibly may be the last we ever see of Jack. And while I have to say I don't really hate the CGI Jack, I will always prefer the Model Series one since that was what I grew up watching, and episodes like Jack Jumps In will always have a special place in my heart. Unfortunately, I don't know what became of his physical model, but if anybody does have that information, be sure to comment down below, I would love to know. As always guys, thanks again for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for even more train content. And if there's anybody else you guys would like to see in this series, be sure to comment down below and I'll do my best to either make the video or add it to the next poll. I'm not gonna lie, before making this, I really didn't know a lot about Jack in the Pack, but diving into it was really fun and honestly a blast to do. So if you guys would like to see more of these characters, be sure to let me know. And as always guys, thanks again for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about the history of Jack, and even more so, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.